All right. This is Brady Mann and his family from Roanoke, Illinois. This is a 1909 Economy. It's a Model G Surrey. This car was bought. The only one in the world right here today. All right, this is my father, Dale Suter, my father-in-law, Jim Paternoster from Fairbury, Illinois. And this is 1914 Model T Speedster. He says this is not the original body. It was known as a hot rod in its day. The heavy touring car body that you normally saw in these vehicles was removed, and the lightweight Speedster body was installed. And Dale says it's a fun car to drive if you don't mind a few bugs. Dale Suter and Jim Paternoster. Can you grab that for me? That's something we can put on top of them. Family, it's a Model 740B. It's a 7-passenger touring car. Ron says it's a 22 Stanley. They only made a little over 300 Stanleys in 1922, as sales for the Stanleys were decreasing at that time. They stopped production at the end of 1924. And if you've noticed that this car isn't very loud, well, it's a steam car, powered by steam. And Ron also has another one here today as well, over there under the tree, if you haven't seen it. But these two are very rare cars, and we're happy to have it here today. Ron and Sue Hardwig, 1922 Stanley Steamer. All right, next up is Leora Osborne. This is a 1930 Ford Model A two-door sedan. And Leora says this car was in the movie The Sting, if you remember that from a few years ago, with Robert Redford and Paul Newman as the stars. And the movie was made in Chicago, Illinois, so this is a famous movie car. 1930 Ford Model A two-door sedan, Leora Osborne of Bloomington. And the Osbornes are also members of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. Thank you very much. All right, this is Jerry Scharf. Jerry's from Deer Creek, Illinois. This is a 1981 American Motors Concorde. It's a four-door DL model. Jerry says his father, Ray Scharf, purchased this car new on March 24th, 1981 from Norton Rust AMC Renault. And then he died 4 months later. His mother drove the car until 1988. Then she quit driving. And now the car just now has only 36,000 miles on it. It's a true original survivor with no restoration done. It's a 1981 American Motors Concorde. And this is Jerry Scharf of Deer Creek, and he's also a member of the McLean County Antique Auto Club and the American Motors Association. Thank you, Jerry. All right. This is a 1936 Cadillac Model 60 four-door body style. This is Carol Lane from Bloomington. He says he bought this at the Auburn, Indiana auction a few years back. It's got a flathead V8, and Carol says this car will run 70 miles an hour all day long. Have you done that, Carol? All day long? 70 miles an hour? Okay. All right. Carol's also a member of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. This is a 1936 Cadillac Model 60 four-door body style. Thank you very much. All right. Go ahead and pull up just a little further. All right, this is Dave and Sharon Blunt from Danvers, Illinois. This is a 1941 Packard. It's a four-door Model 110. And Dave gives me nothing here as far as a description of the vehicle. That doesn't help her out too much. The Blunts are members of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. And I'll just say that this is a nice green car. 1941 Packard, Model 110, four-door. Beautiful car. All right. This is Mr. Chuck Legg from Bloomington, Illinois. This is a 1935 Ford Coupe. And Chuck gives me nothing in the way of information here either. I talked to him recently. Chuck, was this your first car? This was his first car, and he still owns the vehicle and restored it a few years ago. And it's a 1935 Ford Coupe. Chuck's a member of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. And once again, this is his first car, and he still got it. So thanks for bringing it today. 1935 Ford. All right, Dale Suter's back again. This time he's got a 1927 Ford Model T touring car. And in the back, his passengers are my stepsons, Jacob and Alex. I think they're hiding, but they're in there. 1927 was the last year for the Model T. During the Model T production run, over 15 million were made. It has a 177 cubic inch engine, and it put out 20 horsepower. It weighs 1,700 pounds. This car sold new back in 1927 for $380. The Suiters touring this car. All right. I'll be pulling up just a little further there. All right, thank you. This is Lonnie Snow from Wapella, Illinois. This is a 1949 Buick Super convertible. He says the car was restored in 1982. It was a national first place winner in 1983, and it's been sold two times since. Currently, he says it's a fair weather driver. Well, we appreciate you bringing it today for us to see. This is just a spectacular car. Thank you very much. 1949 Buick Super convertible. All right. Go ahead and pull on up just a little further, Everett. Just a little bit further, so we can all see your vehicle. That'll work. This is Everett Schreiber from Bloomington, Illinois. This is a 1948 Willys Touring. He says it was his brother's first car, and he bought it from him. And he said if he got tired of it, he wanted it back. But he died, so now it's Everett's. It says between it, you've had it 22 years, you say? Is that right? All right, Everett's also a member of the McLean County Antique Auto Club, and we appreciate you bringing it today, Everett. 1948 Willys touring car. Thank you. How are you? Yeah, I'll leave it. Thanks, Everett. Everett's one of our senior members in the club. He's 93 years young, Everett Schreiber. All right, next vehicle. This is a 1948 Nash Ambassador. This is called a trunk back sedan, and it's owned by Claire and Julie Cross of Bloomington, Illinois. Claire says this car was given to him by his dad 6 years ago. His dad bought the car in 1988. He had the light brown repainted, but the dark brown is factory. The interior was in mint condition in 1988, but it needs a little work now, he says. But no major work has been needed on the engine. So this is a nice original car. It's a 1948 Nash Ambassador. It's a trunk back sedan. Claire and Julie Cross of Bloomington, and they're members of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. Thank you very much. All right, this is Tony Vallone. Can you pull up just a little farther, Tony? Thank you. This is a 1948 Chevrolet Fleetmaster Coupe. Tony says he traded a motorcycle for it in 1984, and it was rebuilt over several years in the 90s. It's a 1948 Chevrolet Fleetmaster Coupe. Tony Vallone of Normal, and a member of the McLean County Antique Auto Club. Thanks, Tony.